Winter in Europe is a season of dramatic contrasts. One year, blizzards; the next, mild days. This variability is no accident. It's the result of a grand atmospheric ballet, with powerful forces shaping our weather. For the winter of 2025 to 2026, two giants are in the spotlight: the polar vortex and La Niña. The polar vortex is a swirling mass of Arctic air, while La Niña is a cooling of the Pacific Ocean that can influence weather worldwide. When these two interact, they can steer Europe's winter toward deep freezes or mild, wet spells. Scientists are racing to predict which will dominate. Will the vortex keep the cold locked away, or will La Niña tip the balance toward snow and storms? The answer will shape everything from travel plans to energy bills. This winter promises a dramatic showdown in the ongoing tug-of-war that governs our climate. The polar vortex isn't a ground-level storm, but a vast swirl of frigid air high above the North Pole. When it's strong and stable, it traps Arctic cold, letting milder Atlantic air flow into Europe, resulting in wetter, less severe winters. But if the vortex weakens or splits, Arctic air escapes south, triggering cold snaps and snowstorms. This breakdown is often caused by sudden stratospheric warming, where temperatures in the stratosphere spike, disrupting the vortex. The jet stream then becomes wavy, steering cold air deep into Europe. Events like the Beast from the East in 2018 were direct results of a weakened vortex. The polar vortex doesn't create storms, but it sets the stage for extreme winter weather. Its strength or weakness is a critical factor in every European winter forecast. Understanding its behaviour is key to predicting whether we'll face mild rains or Arctic blasts. The vortex is Europe's winter gatekeeper. La Niña, the little girl, is a cooling of the Pacific Ocean that sends shockwaves through global weather. It alters the jet stream, often creating a high-pressure block near Greenland that redirects cold Arctic air into Europe. This pattern increases the risk of colder, snowier winters, especially in northern and western Europe. Not all La Niña events are equal. Strong ones have a bigger impact, while weak ones can be drowned out by other factors. For 2025 to 2026, forecasters are watching La Niña's strength closely. Its influence could tip the scales toward a harsher winter, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. The interplay with the polar vortex will determine the final outcome. La Niña loads the dice for cold, but doesn't guarantee it. Europe's winter fate depends on how these forces combine. The Pacific's chill may be felt all the way to London and Rome. The polar vortex and La Niña don't act alone. They interact, sometimes amplifying, sometimes cancelling each other's effects. If La Niña blocks the jet stream and the vortex weakens, Arctic air can surge into Europe, bringing severe cold and snow. But if the vortex stays strong, it can override La Niña, keeping Europe mild and wet despite Pacific signals. This push and pull makes long-range forecasting a challenge. Forecasters weigh the state of the vortex, La Niña, and even factors like Siberian snow cover, which can disrupt the vortex. When these signals align, Europe can face weeks of deep freeze. When they conflict, the outcome is milder and wetter. The complexity of their interplay is why winter predictions are never certain. Each year, the balance shifts, creating new weather stories. The orchestra of winter is always playing, but the conductors change. Europe's weather is the result of this atmospheric duet. History offers clues to what happens when these forces collide. In 2010 to 2011, A strong La Niña and a weak vortex brought one of the coldest, snowiest winters in decades. Travel, chaos, and record lows swept across northern Europe. In contrast, 2019 to 2020 saw a powerful vortex dominate, locking Arctic air away and delivering a mild, wet winter. The beast from the east in 2018 was triggered by a sudden vortex breakdown, unleashing Siberian cold even during a weak La Niña. These events show how the balance of power between La Niña and the vortex shapes our winters. Past winters are field guides for forecasters, revealing the key ingredients for cold or mild seasons. Studying these patterns helps predict what's ahead. The lessons: a weak vortex plus La Niña equals cold. A strong vortex can override all. The past is a map for the winter to come. Scientists agree a moderate La Niña is developing, raising the odds of a colder, stormier winter for Northern Europe. Agencies like NOAA and ECMWF confirm the Pacific cooling, setting the stage for potential high-latitude blocking. But the polar vortex remains the wild card. Some models predict a weakened vortex, opening the door for cold outbreaks. Others warn the vortex could stay strong, keeping Europe mild. Experts like Dr. Amy Butler stress that other factors, like the quasi-biennial oscillation and Siberian snow cover, could tip the balance. The consensus La Niña loads the dice for cold, but the vortex holds the trump card. Forecasters are watching for signs of a sudden stratospheric warming, which would signal a cold snap is coming. Until then, the outlook is one of heightened risk, not certainty. The science points to a winter of probabilities, not promises. What if both the polar vortex and La Niña are strong? It's a meteorological standoff. La Niña tries to block the jet stream and send cold south, but a powerful vortex keeps Arctic air locked away. The result? The vortex usually wins, flooding Europe with mild Atlantic air and pushing the cold north. Scandinavia might still feel the chill, but most of Europe stays wet and mild. This scenario shows the stratosphere's dominance. When the vortex is strong, it can override even a robust La Niña. The atmosphere's upper layers often have the final say. In the end, the vortex can simply refuse winter's cold delivery. The outcome of this atmospheric battle affects us all. A harsh winter means travel chaos, energy spikes, and strain on infrastructure. Mild winters disrupt nature. Plants bud early, animals emerge too soon, and ecosystems are thrown off balance. Severe cold challenges wildlife survival and increases health risks for people. Energy bills rise, and healthcare systems feel the pressure. Yet winter also brings joy: snow days, skiing, and the beauty of a frosty landscape. Our routines, budgets, and even moods are shaped by these climate giants. Whether it's snowmen or slippery sidewalks, the impacts are real. The forces above shape life on the ground. As winter 2025 to 2026 approaches, Europe stands at the crossroads of La Niña and the polar vortex. La Niña is pushing for a colder, blocked pattern, while the vortex's behaviour remains the wild card. The scientific consensus: a higher chance of a cold winter, especially in the north, but nothing is guaranteed. Watch for sudden stratospheric warming. If it happens, brace for a cold snap. These global forces remind us how interconnected our world is. A Pacific chill or a polar wobble can change daily life across Europe. The best advice: stay informed, be prepared for disruptions, and embrace whatever winter brings. The battle for Europe's winter is underway. All we can do is watch, wait, and adapt. The giants of the atmosphere will decide our fate.